Cool. So now, before we go into our different entry points, there's a couple of assumptions that we've made, right? Or at least that I've made as the person that's running the sessions. I've made the assumption that we all understand or have a good idea of our market size. That's to say we all have an idea of how much the market we work in, how much it's worth, in terms of us, like, getting a share of that, like, entire market. And if you're not, I'll just give you a high level, very easy example that you can use in calculating the market sizing, and that will give you a view of, like, how much of that size you can possibly go for. So, and I will use this with our specific business, just so we have consistency and relatability, but where I lose you, please, by all means, pause me and ask the question, and I'm more than happy to explain further. All right. So let's talk about market sizing. Market sizing is what I mentioned earlier, right? It's basically engaging with the market that you want to sell to, right? That's to say the people, all the different people that are that I've identified as my target market. With our business, with Academy, let's just say our target market are CEOs, right? According to Apollo data, there are over 10,000 CEOs in South Africa. All those CEOs obviously run different businesses that are at different levels within their overall business. But for a second, let's just assume that all 10,000 of those CEOs are experiencing the problem that my business basically solves, right? And maybe that's the problem of lack of skills development in their business. And I sell my solution for 1,000 rand. So I will take, in order for me to calculate how much my service is actually worth, or what the TAM, what the total addressable market is worth. I will take all those CEOs, or all those people within my location that are experiencing this problem, multiplied by the cost of my product, right? As you can see in this example, it says if there are 30 million men in the USA between the ages of 40 to 80 experiencing hair loss, multiplied by $30, which is what my product goes for, then the potential market size is $1.8 billion, right? Bringing it into the South African context, I will go straight to Apollo. Ooh, Manyano, sorry, I lost where Apollo is. There it is. We will. This is a platform that we are gonna go in depth with later on, right? But I just want to bring it in here to show you how it looks like in real life. I mentioned
So
that. Yeah.
what we can see is market sizing.
Okay, my bad. Let me stop presenting, and then let me press present again. Thank you for that, Manyano. Can you see the screen now? Can you see my Apollo dashboard, Manyano?
Yes, we're in Apollo.
All right, great stuff. So, guys, this is Apollo, and we'll talk about. We have a segment about Apollo later in the day. It's a powerful tool that can help you to basically engage with, if you are in the B2B space, and you are looking for people to sell your products or your services to. Apollo is one of the tools that you can consider, right? But because of the example that I'm busy talking about when it comes to market sizing, earlier on I made the example. I said there are 10,000 CEOs in South Africa, right? And these 10,000 CEOs, maybe because they are all at different stages, I need to figure out, okay, how much of revenue do they actually generate, right? Of those 10,000 CEOs, 9,000 of them are in private companies, 251 of them are in public companies, right? So let's assume my product, I only want to target CEOs that are in businesses that have a minimum of $100,000 to $1 million worth of revenue. So I want to engage with CEOs that make a minimum of 200,000, no, 2 million rand. 100,000 is almost 2 million rand. Yeah. I want to engage with customers that, or CEOs that run businesses that make a minimum of 2 million rand to a maximum of 20 million rand, right? There are only 331 of them that are in the space. Let's assume that all 331 of them run businesses where skills development is a problem for them, right? They need a solution like the one I provide that can help upskill their staff members. So the what it tells me as the person who's doing this calculation is I will take 331 multiplied by the cost of my average course, right? So I will say 331 CEOs that are generating up to $1 million multiplied by, let's just say our course is 3,000 Rand, right? What it tells me is that the customers in this space up to 20 million Rand, that market in itself is basically worth 331 times 3,000 Rand if it had to be a once-off purchase, right? That's 993,000 Rand if it had to be a once-off purchase. But maybe my cost is a recurring cost, and I multiply that by 12. That's 11 million Rand. And what it tells me is this market is worth 11 million Rand on the assumption that I am engaging with 330 CEOs, all working within businesses that are generating up to 20 million Rand that have a problem of skills development. That's one segment. If I want to expand this, right, and say, okay, that's just $1 million Rand, right, or $1 million. What about the businesses that generate a maximum of $5 million, right? That number has increased from 331 to 714. This whole exercise basically just gives you a view of how big your market could possibly be, right? And how you can take a mathematical calculation in really just helping you to focus on engaging with the right people at the right cost, and at the appropriate propensity, if I may put it that way. Once you understand what your market is worth, then you go into, just give it a second for it to load. Then you go into the next stage where you create a customer persona, right? A customer persona is basically a play. Yeah, it's a play term that marketers again created to position your customers as real human beings, right? With real attributes or human-like attributes, and these human beings represent segments of our customers. So customer personas help us to be very specific about who our customers are. Instead of me saying, oh no, my target market are SMEs or are enterprises, I can now say my target customers are CEOs that run businesses in Johannesburg or in South Africa. The segments that they work in are IT, and they work in agriculture, and their businesses generate $1 million, right? I call these customer personas, I call them the friendly agricultural farmers. That's the name of the customer persona 1. Customer persona 2 are my IT gurus. These are CEOs that run IT companies in South Africa. They generate 5 million Rand. They buy from me once a year, right? That is segment number 2. And you can keep repeating that exercise until you've reached a point where you understand who your different customer segments are, right? Initially, before Apollo was discovered, we had persona generators. There's various persona generators available. Manyano, can you please share the HubSpot persona generator in the chat, right? And as we talk, I'll ask you to just share some links and also share the link to apollo.io. But ultimately, I think the best tool to use for generating your personas is a platform that, like, we use for our own marketing and sales activities, and that's Apollo, right? Where Apollo isn't making it up. Apollo gives us real data of real people and their real professional email addresses. For the sake of privacy, I'm not going to generate any of these emails, right? Because obviously none of these people that we're talking about are present, and I don't have permission to share their emails. But ultimately, Apollo helps you to generate the email and engage with this person and their professional email address. All right, that's the parameters that you can use in engaging with this person, and I'll talk about that later. But ultimately, how we can use Apollo to create our customer personas, how we use it for our own business. We ask the different questions in the filters, right? And Apollo comes with various filters. For the essence of this specific example of customer personas, let's talk about some of the examples that I mentioned earlier on. So the first place that I will go to is, who do I want to sell my product to? So my product is, we have the e-commerce business, which is one product. We have the academy, which is product number 2. We have our marketing services, which is product number 3, right? So I need to be very specific. If you're going to win in digital marketing, it's highly important that you are as specific as possible. I'm going to pause. I heard a hand being raised. Is there a question or comment? Manyano, can you please tell me?
Is this only for if you're looking for CEOs per se? So this is actually a B2B platform.
Yes, sir. This is a B2B platform, right? It's not only for CEOs. If you're looking for any profession that may be listed, so while I have you online, maybe tell me one of the roles that you would be looking for, assuming that you are in the B2B space. Can you give me one role that you normally reach?
Yes, so it would be a operations manager for, let's say, manufacturing plant. That's who I'll be selling to.
All right, great. You mentioned 2 very important things there, right? So operations manager as one persona. I want to sell my services to operations manager. That's one segment, right? And then you mentioned an industry. What industry are they in? You said manufacturing.
Yes.
All right. So now I want to there's 2 types of manufacturing. There's railroad manufacturing and electrical and electronic. Can I choose the first one?
It's maybe it's me, but you see the screen seems to be frozen. I can't see anything else that you typed in.
All right, my bad. Let me just do this.
Okay, there we go. Now I can see.
I'm going to present again. I apologize about that, guys. All right, can you see my screen again? My active screen?
Yes.
Okay. So you said we are selling to operations managers, right? To answer the question of role, it's not only CEOs that we can engage with. We can use Apollo to engage with as many professions as possible that are listed on the Apollo system, right? I was making an example of our specific business. Our specific business might want to only engage with CEOs. Your business might only want to engage with operations manager, right? But for the essence of this example, let's stick to the operations manager example. So it's operations managers that I want to talk to that are in South Africa, right? There's 11,000 of them. And then they work in manufacturing, you said, right? My question before the screen froze, I asked what type of manufacturing? Is it electronic manufacturing or railroad manufacturing?
Well, any manufacturing is fine. You can do railroad, it's fine.
All right.
Or either it's fine.
All right, because as soon as we choose either one of these, right, it will filter it even further. So if you are saying any type of manufacturing, I would say, okay, then maybe let's just keep it open, right? Let's keep it open so we have a wider net. And remember that we are taking them through a filter at the end of the day. We're going to take them through our sales funnel, right? But ultimately, just to give a view of this persona, we are saying our persona is an operations manager who lives in South Africa. And they are an operations manager in various industries. On the right hand side, I am getting a view of real human beings. These are not made up. These are real human beings that work in real businesses. As I can click a button and I can access their professional email address. These are the locations that they are in, and then these are the industries that they work in, right? Maybe some of the industries I might not necessarily relate to, or I might not want to work in. Then I come back in my search bar and I type out the industries that I want to service. The gentleman, sorry, I didn't get your name, but Malisela, nice to meet you, man. Malisela, you said they are working in manufacturing, right? Let's choose both of the manufacturing, and then let's choose construction as an example, right? And maybe let's choose financial institutions. So the whole point here, Malisela and everyone else in the session, is that we are creating our personas, right? But we're taking a flip side of this, where we're using Apollo to really just get a segment of all the different types of personas that we want to sell to. I may want to sell to operations directors that work only in these 4 industries, right? And there's 1,400 of them available. This will be my operations managers. We will save the search and call them operations managers in South Africa. And then I repeat the process, and this time I want to sell to my CEOs, right? Malisela, sorry, I like talking about CEOs because I'm always engaging with business owners here, right? And I'm engaging with CEOs already.
That's fine. Yes.
Right. So let's say I want to sell to CEOs. And the other thing, why am I biased in favor of CEOs? Because it is a bias. My bias is that if I'm engaging with the decision maker will guide me to the right people if they can't give me a straight answer, right? Remember that I need to generate leads for my team so that we can generate sales as fast as possible. With respect to the guys that are in support, like the receptionist is trained not to take calls, or they are trained to say no, or they are trained to send us to the info email address, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a business, my job is to generate leads as fast as possible and engage with the right person, right? So I believe in engaging with the decision makers. The CEO would be a decision maker. The MD, if someone is listed as an MD, they'd also be a decision maker. But maybe I also want to engage with the marketing director, right? I can put that in there. And ultimately, this persona, I will label them as my decision makers, right? My decision makers in South Africa that work in various industries. I don't want to cap them by industry, but maybe I want to cap them by revenue, right? So I will say I want to engage with these decision makers that run businesses in South Africa, but they only and they generate $1 million worth of revenue. There's 454 of them, right? Yes, there's a total of 10,000 CEOs, but I'm not going to be relevant to all 10,000 CEOs. However, this 454, if I can just convert 10% of them, then my job is done. I'm happy. These are the different industries that they work in. Are there industries that I don't relate to? If there are industries I don't relate to, I can exclude that specific industry from my persona. And essentially, I repeat that process until I have a segment of all my different personas, right? These are all personas that we've created for our business interests. There's ESDs that we want to engage us in. This is persona number 1. There's for-profit service providers that we engage us. So that's persona number 2. SA businesses with 1 to 10 employees, right? And we play a lot with Apollo, and I'll do an entire demo of Apollo later. But ultimately, instead of trying to figure out your persona or who your customer really is, you could use a system such as Apollo that can give you real people with real email addresses, and you can engage them immediately, right? Are there any questions on customer personas before I go on to our first entry point? Malisela, was that helpful in terms of clarifying the type of roles that we can engage with?
Yes, no, definitely, definitely. Thank you very much.
All right, great. So now, guys, let's bring it back to our academy. Yeah, there's another question.
Hello.
Oh, we're good. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You know, it's me. It's Paul Masilo.
Oh,
from
okay.
Freshmont Plains.
Yes, Paul.
Yes, sorry to interrupt. I wanted to ask if we can do a real live example.
Of course.
Using my brand. We manufacturing mouthwash packaged in a sachet. So I wanted to because I was actually, while you were speaking, I tried to search for the Apollo app or whatever to try and see, but I didn't find it. So I thought, like, let me ask you guys to really use like a Freshmont example to generate. So we're manufacturing mouthwash. So we want to build a persona, for the mouthwash packaged in a sachet.
Who's your customer, Paul?
We're looking for people that are health conscious, people that are traveling, people that are social active.
Okay. If in
the age of 18 and 55.
I'm with you. So Paul, let's hold that thought, right? Let's use that real example to create an actual ad on Meta. I think that will give you a view of another way that you can create your audience. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. So guys, we've spoken about market sizing. We've spoken about personas, right? Now, the beautiful thing about digital marketing is, of course, all the different platforms have their respective persona creation systems, right? LinkedIn creates personas based on professions. Facebook or Meta creates personas based on people's interests, right? And what they are interested in and how they behave when they are on the Meta platform. Google creates personas based on what people are searching for, So personas they vary in their different manifestations. The important thing is that you are consistent as a business and you create and organize your personas in such a way that you know what type of product you are selling to them. So Paul, you said to me initially I was going to show an example of how we've created our ads, but let's use your example, right? Within the constraints of the training, of course, there are elements that I might not be able to touch on because we are against time. But I believe the principle of following the whole process will be helpful. So Paul, you said you create mouthwash products for health conscious people. Am I correct? Okay.
Yes. Sorry, I was on mute.
No problem. That's cool. That's fine. So now let's assume, Paul, that this was your Facebook Ads Manager account. But before I even go into that, it's important that I share with everyone what this is. When you are going to run adverts, right? First and foremost, you need to have a Facebook business account. If you don't have a Facebook business account, you need to create one. A Facebook business page does not mean you have a Facebook business account. You need to have a Facebook business suite, right? Manyano, please can you share the link to Facebook business suite or Meta business suite? Once you have Meta business suite, Meta basically creates and treats your business on their platform on Facebook and Instagram as a persona. Let's use that word, as a persona on its platform that wants to advertise. So you basically are treated as an advertiser, and you can run all your ads or your ad campaigns directly from the several tools that Business Suite offers you. the suite that Meta Business Suite, or the features that it offers you, are all these different features that you have available to you, right? Some of you guys might be seeing this for the first time, and I can understand that it might be overwhelming, but the guide that we'll share with you will basically show you how to create a Meta business page, in terms of, like, a business page that you might not have, but most importantly, how to create a Meta Business Suite. When you have a Meta Business Suite, you can load your professional domain and show your customers that they are buying from a safe platform or from a safe business, right? That's one of the benefits. I heard that there's a question. I'll come back to it. You can also manage all your different pages or assets on Meta, instead of you having to manage them individually, right? So these are just some of the benefits of having a Facebook Business Suite. Once you have Facebook Business Suite, you can basically, you will get access to what is called Facebook Ads Library. Facebook Ads Library is a feature that enables you to run ad campaigns to people, or to your personas, to all your different types of personas. It has advanced features, more features than. Can you please mute yourself if you are unmuted? Can you please just try to mute yourself to avoid negative feedback? But ultimately, when you have a Facebook ads page or ads account, you are able to basically create ad campaigns across the funnel, right? This is the funnel, if you think about it. You can create an awareness campaign where you want to drive brand awareness about your page, about your website. You can create a traffic campaign where you want to create awareness about your page or website, and you want to drive them to the landing page, or to get them to call you, or to your WhatsApp page. You can create an engagement campaign where you want people to immediately engage with your solution, right? Go back to the funnel. As I'm talking about all these different touch points, go back to some of the comments that I mentioned about the funnel, because this is essentially a funnel. And how Facebook Ads Manager works is it gives you more features as opposed to boosting your post. And I'll talk about that for a minute. The difference between boosting your post when you've just posted something through your business page, and creating an ad campaign, is that boosting is good. Boosting is great for someone who might not necessarily want to be as intricate as I am right now, right? I don't want to bash boosting. But if you have the option of creating ad campaigns, I would encourage you to create ad campaigns rather than boosting. Why do I say that? Boosting is more appropriate if you only want to create awareness, right? It will be shared to the people that follow your page. And if you've set up the feature where you want to showcase your page to other people that are similar to your page followers, then the boost would be fine. But you are only driving people to your page or to your website, right? Those people are not necessarily in a position to take an action on that page that you are driving them to, or on the post that you're actually promoting. So boosting is only one touch point. If we're thinking about our funnel, it's only that one touch point. If you want to drive other pieces across the sales funnel, then you would have to boost across, the different phases of the funnel, but you are only limited to the people that are already engaging with your brand. Whereas when you are running a ad campaign, you can show your advert, or your advert is shown to people that fit your persona and to people that may look like those people. That people that look like those people. But most importantly, it's shown to people that are not necessarily only following your page. So you get more features with creating your ad on Facebook ad manager, right? So let's use Paul's example. Paul said he has a dental product that helps people mouthwash, right? And Paul, if you can unmute yourself and just give me some guidance quick. How do people purchase your product? Do they go to your website, or do they call you, or do they send you a WhatsApp?
There's enough WhatsApp option, and also people buy direct from like the online shops like your macro marketplace, take a lot and stuff like that. Yeah.
All right.
So the WhatsApp chatbot, they ordering direct from us.
Shot. Okay. Can we use the WhatsApp example, right? Because just to keep the whole conversation focused, and because WhatsApp is a platform that you own, right? It's easier for you to influence what that sales funnel looks like. Marketplaces such as Takealot and AWS, those are platforms that give you earned media. So what that means is you are not in control of the traffic that goes to your product, right? The owners of Takealot and AWS are the ones that are in control because they own the website. And their users are the ones that will go here and look for whatever it is that you may be buying, right? So whereas your WhatsApp page, that's your environment. If a customer clicks on the button, they immediately go and they talk to you. So let's use that as a tactic, right? The tactic or the final stage that you would create, you can either go straight into engagement if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with your customers, or you can also create an awareness campaign, right? If you were driving them to a website or a chat platform. But for your specific example, let's use WhatsApp. We will select engagement. Once we've done that, we click on continue. Facebook gives you two options. It either gives you recommended settings that are already set up for you, so that you can be faster in setting up your campaign, or you can do it for yourself manually, right? I'm going to choose the manual example so that you can see all the different touch points of this ecosystem. Once you've done that, you click on continue.
Sorry,
Yes.
your screen is frozen again.
Oh, is it frozen again? I don't know why it keeps freezing. Sorry, guys. Thanks for that.
Yeah, Google Meets does that. So if you put it in full screen, it will on Google Meets.
Yeah.
It freezes sometimes.
Okay, so maybe let me do this and then expand it instead of
Yes.
So maybe let me just do that.
That works much better. We won't do it again.
Thank you for that. All right. So now we're creating Paul's ad campaign, right? Before we even go into the creation of the campaign, guys, remember that depending on your strategies, right? Your products have fluctuations. Some months or some quarters on the year, you may make more sales than other quarters, right? And some businesses, you might always just be in a space where you're constantly making consistent sales. It really depends, right? But for Paul's example, let's say Paul's campaign. We will list the campaign here, Paul's campaign. And then we know that, okay, we are promoting our mouthwash product. Once we've labeled the campaign, the different touch points that you need to be aware of here. If you are selling financial products, it's important that you declare your campaign as an insurance product or a financial product, right? This is very, very important because then Facebook can validate and verify your ad, to avoid fraudulent activities. If you are promoting a political party or things like that, you also need to declare that upfront with Facebook, and then they need to verify you before they can approve your ad to go live, right? If there's nothing for you to declare, then this piece here that says campaign details, there's nothing for you to do, but essentially it says the auction type that you've selected is engagement, right? You want to engage with people on a one-on-one basis by sending them to your WhatsApp page. Advantage and campaign budget. Basically, if you switch this toggle on, this helps you to manage your budget while also really stretching it as much as you possibly can. Facebook would use its system and its algorithms to determine who are the best people to showcase your advert to within the budget that you have, right? If you want to have more control of your budget in terms of knowing that, hey, I only have 100 Rand per day, and I don't want you to spend any more or any less than that, then you can switch it off, right? And then A/B test is the same advert but two variants of that advert, so that you can test which advert is working the best, which audiences are responding the best to your different adverts, right? I'll keep these two off for now, because of this example. Once you're ready, you'll click on next, and then you will end up on your ad set. So now, Paul, this is where we come into the term of personas and how the word persona basically manifests on a platform such as this, right? I would encourage you to create an ad set name for your brand, right? Paul, you mentioned something interesting. You said your persona, one of your persona are health conscious people, right?
Yes.
Let's just label it as that, right? They're health conscious people in SA. That's the first persona, right? And then tell me more about their ages. I'll go to, before we go to that, assume this was your page. For our page, as you can see, we have different Rekisa pages, right? And because we are engaging, we only want them to go to our WhatsApp. So we will tick off the other two messengers, and we'll only send them to our WhatsApp, to our verified WhatsApp number, right? Once we've done that, we go straight into the next pieces, right? The bid control, I would encourage you to keep it off and allow Meta to use your budget according to their algorithms, right? Otherwise, it will be very difficult for you to manage how you want to bid for your ads to show to the right people if you are not an advanced user of Meta ads. And then the performance goal is to maximize the number of conversations. So you want to make sure that my ad is shown to as many people as possible that have the propensity to take the action once they've clicked on the advert, right? So it's not someone who's just going to click and not take an action. It's someone that will click on the button and initiate a conversation, right? If I was taking them to a website and I want them to click on that link to the website so that they go to the website, whether they will take the action on the website or not, then I will choose this option as my goal, right? But for Paul's platform, we want to encourage people that have a propensity to initiate a conversation. Once we've done that, your budget and your schedule, you have two options when it comes to Meta. It gives you the option of setting up a daily budget, or it gives you the option of setting up a lifetime budget. What the difference is the daily budget basically states how much am I willing to spend per day for this advert, right? The lifetime budget means how much am I willing to spend all in all, overall, right? Within a month or within a quarter or whatever. What's the maximum I'm willing to spend? That's what I wanted to say. That's the word I was looking for. What's the maximum I'm willing to spend? I'm willing to spend 15,000 Rand, and I want my advert to run for the next 10 days. I'm just making an example here, right? Let's say Paul has a 15,000 Rand budget, and it's about to become sales season right now. He wants to run a 4-week campaign from the 7th of November to the 7th of December, right? You're getting this notification here because Facebook my Facebook system is surprised. It's like, hey, are you sure this is you? It's quite high. And if I'm happy with that, then I will move on to the next stage and say, yes, I'm happy with that. I want my campaign to run until the 31st of December, right? The campaign will go live tomorrow on the 8th from midnight. I would also encourage you to set up your campaign to really just go live on a brand new day and not switch it on at like 4 p.m. or 6 p.m. because the system, you need to give the system enough time for it to learn, right? So I wanted to go live midnight on the new day and then end on the last day at 23:59 as an example, right? So Paul, you have 15,000 Rand that you want to spend on your campaign. You've chosen lifetime budget. What this means is for the next 4 to 5 weeks, Facebook will take this 15,000 and it will spread it across the number of days that are available, right? So it makes the most of this 15,000. But let's say you don't have 50, you want, let's say you want to have more control and you choose daily budget and you prefer spending 150 Rand per day on your ad. What Meta will do is some days it will spend up to 150. Some days it will spend less than 150. But on other days it will spend more than 150. But it takes into account that all the maths basically make sense, right? If on Monday you only spend 50 Rand and then on Tuesday you only spent 100 Rand, Meta will automatically know that on day 3 we need to spend what was left on the Monday budget, what was left on the Tuesday budget, so that on the Wednesday budget it's the 150 plus the 250 balance from the other previous days. All right, so you leave Facebook to do that. You don't have to do anything in that regard. If you want to manage your budget where you increase it on certain days and you drop it on other days, you can switch this toggle on, and then you can set up what is called budget scheduling, right? But we won't do that. Now, Paul, we're getting into the nitty gritty. Now we're going into your audience control, your so-called persona that you asked us for, right? I'm going to open this up. So, Paul, your customers, where are they? They're in South Africa?
Yes.
Okay. Are they so when it comes to location, guys, it's very easy to say, yes, I want my advert to show across the country, right?
Yes.
And that's great. However, you need to be aware of the trade-offs here. If you're going to showcase your advert across the nation, you need to make sure that that is also related to your budget, right? If you only have 150 rands and you want to spread 150 rands a day across all your users that are spread out across your country, then your advert will be spread thin, right? Or your budget will be spread thin, and your advert will only be shown to a handful of people that may be in certain parts of the country, right? So if your budget is limited, what we've done is we would say, okay, what are the technology trends in our country? We know that Johannesburg is the most active, followed by Cape Town, followed by Pretoria, and then Durban. The other areas are slow to adopt. So we would normally just set a parameter, and we would say we have a limited budget, so we want our advert to only show in Gauteng, right? And we would choose Gauteng as one of the locations. And we would say, okay, we also want our advert to show in Cape Town, not the whole of Western Cape. We want it to only show in Cape Town and within a 20k radius of Cape Town City. So what that means is my advert will be shown across the whole of Gauteng to my so-called personas, and Cape Town City within a 20k radius, right? But Paul said Gauteng, or rather Paul said South Africa, right? So we will say South Africa in here. South Africa. So Paul, according to Meta, we still need to define this for a bit further, right? There are 12 million users on Meta's platform that are using Meta right now. That could be your potential customers, but we need to refine this a bit more, right? And then we would just click on this. How old are they, Paul? Minimum age of 18, or does age matter?
18 to 55.
Okay. All right. So you'll say the minimum age is 18, and then you want to cap it to 55, right?
Yes.
Okay. Switch to original. Sorry, guys. It automatically set up something else here. Set up original, please. Use original. Cool. All right. So Paul, you said they are 18 and you want to cap it to 55, right? So now we're talking to possible users that are 18 to 55. The number has dropped from 12 to 10.5 million, right? I'm assuming it's all genders.
Yes.
All right, cool. So now, Apollo, I showed you earlier with Apollo, you can target by profession and industry, right? When it comes to Meta, with Meta, you can target based on demographics. That's to say, what job do they work, what industry do they work in, how old are they. If we were in the United States, we could also add how much they earn. Interests is what are they interested in, what pages are they interested in, what pages do they follow. And then behaviors is how do they behave on Meta. Have they recently purchased something, and are those the type of people that I want to engage with, right? So those are the three categories that we can target our persona on Meta. Paul, you may, again, I'm going to go back to your example. You said it's health conscious, right? So we would type out here health conscious as an example. Let's see what results actually come out. The relevance when I typed out health conscious are people in demographics, right? So do you only want to sell to people that work in healthcare and medical services? If you did, right? If you did, because this is obviously an example, I don't want us to get too bogged down. If you did, then you would select that, right? You would say, I only want to advertise my product to people that work in healthcare and medical services. If you check here on the right hand side, what was 10 million has now dropped to 47,000 to 48,000, right? The number is quite small. The possible conversions is between 0 to 6. However, if I keep that open and I'm like, okay, let's target based on interests. What are they interested in? I would click on browse and immediately go under interest. These are all the different interest categories that are available on Meta, right? So for someone such as Paul, the fitness and wellness category might be a category that you might find interesting, right? That might be the one where you want to engage with the people that are interested in anything that has to do with fitness and well-being.
Yes, right. Definitely. That's
and then,
the group.
And then you will tick that off, right? So what that will say to Meta is, okay, Meta, I only want my advert to show to people that like and follow and engage with anything that has to do with fitness and wellness, right? Anyone who's not interested in fitness and wellness, but maybe interested in business and strategy, will not see my advert. But because of how Meta's structure is, it's very possible that I, as Tato, who I'm interested in business and industry, so that's one of my interests, but I'm also interested in health and fitness. Chances are I will see this advert, right? That's how it basically it's structured. If you've been running ads for a while, or your business page has been active on Meta, you're active and you've had your pages for quite a while, Facebook automatically will learn based on the traffic and activities that are happening on your existing pages. But if this is your first time that you're running these campaigns, then I would encourage you to select based on interest, select based on demographics, if that's how you want to target, and select based on behavior. For our business, we select based on demographics, and we say we are only looking for decision makers, right? And we would type out decision makers in here. And what that tells us is, okay, there are people, there's business decision makers, there's IT decision makers, there's business decision makers as a demographic. We want to work with those guys, right? So now, again, what that will tell the Facebook system is I am selling my mouthwash product to decision makers who may also be interested in health and wellness products. Am I making sense here, Paul? Are you still with me in terms of how we are manifesting your persona using Meta?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
I'm cool and I'm following.
Awesome. So we basically repeat that process until we've created a persona that we are happy to go to the market with. Because this is an active page, we have saved audiences, right? And our saved audiences they vary because of all the different businesses that we run. If we wanted to showcase our advert, now Paul, this is where the engineering comes in. Remember that you're selling to 18 to 15-year-olds, but you could also consider selling to parents, right? Where they can buy your your dental product for their 10-year-olds or their 7 to 9-year-olds, right? These are segments. These are some of the personas that we've created for our own business. I'm just going to click on one of them just for the sake of this example. And essentially, what it tells me is the advert will be advertised or will be shown to parents, to people that are listed as parents that live in Gauteng only, that happen to have kids that are 7 to 9 years old, or rather 10 to 13 years old, right? This is one piece of target audiences that I will show my advert to. If I'm happy with that, I click next so that I design my ad. And then I can create another persona that is for parents that have kids between 7 to 9 years old. And I can create another persona, to showcase to parents that have kids that have teenagers, right? And essentially how we do that is we just duplicate it. We duplicate the persona or the audience set. Once we do that, we decide how many copies do we want to create. We can create 2 extra copies. And the reason why we would duplicate it, guys, is so that our advert can be shown to different types of personas in parallel, right? And not one by one. But I have the right budget and I want my advert to show to parents that have 13-year-olds. I want my ad to show to parents that have 7-year-olds. So I would basically duplicate my different personas that I have created, right? Are you with me, Paul?
Yes.
All right, great stuff. So now that we've created our personas, right? Imagine for a second that this is the 10 to 13-year-olds, and then this one would be the parents that have 7 to 9-year-olds, right? The system automatically, because you would have saved it, the system automatically knows that, okay, the advert should only be shown to people that have listed themselves as parents and they have kids that are this age. The same thing applies here at the top, and then the one at the very top would be the initial brief that you gave to me to say it's 18 to 50 to 55-year-olds that are across South Africa, and they happen to be decision makers, right? Once we've done that, we now need to create the advert. We now need to load the flyer or to design the look and feel of the ad, right? This is the actual advert in itself. I would encourage you to label your advert, and you would say advert for 7 to 9, and then you repeat it for ad set number 2 and ad set number 3, right? And then you don't need to do anything under identity, because the Meta platform would automatically pick up that you are a registered advertiser with your own respective ID, right? If you're going to advertise, guys, on Meta, or any of these platforms for that matter, it's important that you do it through your business page, right? Unless you yourself are the brand, I would still encourage you to set up a business page for your own personal brand, if I may put it that way, right? And then once you've done that, this is where now you can decide what do you want to post. Do you want to load an image of your product in action, or do you want to load a video? I'm going to stand here right now and I'm going to say it depends. It depends on your strategy. Some people in my industry would say load as many videos as possible, because video has a lot of engagement, and it does. But not everyone likes videos. Some people might prefer a still image that says everything that I need to know. Some people might want to have a carousel. That's to say, they might want to see different images in one message, right? There's no wrong or right. It's all about testing. So maybe this particular advert can be a video or a single image, and then this advert can be a carousel, and then this image can be something else, right? You have the capability to do all of that. Paul, because we don't know anything about your brand, I'm going to load one of our own images, right? For the sake of this this particular example. So what we would do there is we want to load an image. Once we've selected the image, or rather once we've selected that option, we will add the image that is available on our platform. What you see now as primary text is what message do you want to do you want to show to your customers, right? So let's make it up, Paul. Mouth water products, quality mouth water products, as an example, right? Quality mouth water products. That will be our primary text. And then our headline. The headline is the main message that you want your customers to see, right? And maybe the headline will say quality mouth water products.
Mouthwash.
Yeah, mouthwash. Sorry, Paul. You're right. Mouthwash, right? Mouthwash, right? Quality mouthwash. Quality mouthwash. Right, and then I'm gonna put it there. But in here, the headline. Remember, the headline is the main message that you want your customers to see, right? And you want that to say quality mouthwash, get 50% off, because it's Black Friday. In descriptions, you will tell your customers about what your product actually offers, right? I'll just add one of our existing descriptions, and you will put it in there. The description is a sentence that you want your customer to basically see when they see your advert, right? And then you can add several descriptions, you can add several headlines, you can add several primary texts. Your primary text and your description are really more or less the same thing, right? Your headline is the main message that you want your customer to see, right? And then the call to action is the button that your customer will click on. You want them to send a message, you want them to order, because we're sending them to WhatsApp, let's just say send WhatsApp message, and then we click next. Once we've done that, because our ad platform is constantly active, we will select one of the images that speaks to what we are advertising, right? And then we will use the standard size, which is 1080 by 1080 in terms of the graphic that we've designed. The graphic will come from your graphic designer, if you have one, if you've designed one using a tool such as Canva or Adobe, right? The image or the video, this is what you've taken outside of the Meta platform, and then you will load it onto your platform. And then you will click on next, and Facebook will ask you what variations do you want to use. You'll select all of them, just so there's consistency, and then you will click on the next button so that Facebook shows you how your advert will be shown on its platform to all the different users that are using their system. If you're happy with that, you click on done, and basically you will get an idea of how the advert will show, right? So now, under where my mouse is, where it says quality mouthwash, get 50% off, that's your headline. That's the main message, because a lot of the times customers don't read what is in the description. They see what is on your graphic, they see what is on your headline, right? Your headline needs to be short enough to send the message out, and then obviously needs to have a button that says buy now, join now, chat on WhatsApp, whatever it is, because that's the call to action. All right. And essentially once you've added your image, and you've added your messaging, and you've added your call to action, there's a couple of other pieces that you need to do. For Paul's campaign, he's running a WhatsApp campaign, so there's no need for him to set up his pixel, and I'll explain in a second what a pixel is. A pixel is an imaginary tracking code that tracks your users. That's to say, the people that have clicked or liked or shared your ad with their network of people. Your advert will track those people, right? If the people clicked on the website and they agreed to being tracked, they agreed to the cookies, the pop-up that always shows on websites, and that the website would say, we use cookies. Cookies is basically an imaginary tracking code that gives the advertiser permission to track your activity online, connected to what they are selling. All right, they are not looking at your they're not necessarily looking at your behavior online. They are only showcasing your adverts in relation to what you are looking for. If you're looking for mouthwash, you'll now see other adverts from Colgate and Aquafresh that is advertising the same thing, because the Facebook system can also pick up that, oh, okay, these are products that you are interested in. All right. But when we are sending someone to our chat platform, such as WhatsApp, the pixel will automatically be set up, but there's no need to track them any further because they're coming straight to your WhatsApp page. All right. To make your advertising profitable, it's important that you set up your pixel, because pixel can track how many people are liking your page, how many people are sharing your ad, how many people are buying the product that you're advertising. And it can also remarket. That's to say, it will show other products that you are advertising to those people. And it also helps you to create an audience so that you don't have to advertise to new people all the time. Whoever has interacted with our adverts, they will always be the first set of people to see these adverts, because we're trying to build a relationship with them. Okay. And then once all of that has been done, you basically click on publish. Of course, you need to set up your account, your billing address with Meta, so that they can publish your ad. But ultimately, assume that this was Paul's ad. I'll take you to a real ad that we've created. Assume that Paul's ads are live and they're ready to go. This is an example of how these adverts would look like, right? This is one of our businesses, which is an IT and programming school for kids. And essentially, because we deal with different parents, these are parents with kids from the ages of 6 all the way to 18, we run different types of creatives all the time. And we target them differently as well, right? So essentially, at any given time, in order for you to create the awareness of your brand, I would encourage you to at least have 2 ads that are running at the same time. It allows you to test and see what's working versus what's not. It allows you to leverage on the data that you are getting on the platform. Instead of just dealing and using one advert, you can basically just get a view of insights across your different ads that are currently running. But again, I say this with a pinch of salt, because we all have different levels of resources, right? So now Paul's adverts are running, and they would be visible to users on Facebook, on Meta, and they can also be found on Meta Business or Meta Ads Library, right? What Facebook Ads Library is, it's a tool for advertisers to see, advertisers and customers actually, to see what adverts are running, right? We use it specifically for our advertising purposes. If we are like Paul and we don't have an idea as to what strategy we can use, we can basically go to Facebook Ads Library. Manyano, please share the link to Facebook Ads Library in the chat. We can basically go to Facebook Ads Library, search what adverts are happening in South Africa or in the world in our industry. So what Paul will do here is he'll choose all ads, and he will type out, Paul, what industry do I call your industry, man? What do I call your industry?
It's health and personal care.
Health and personal care. Let's see if anything comes up. All right. So now what that means, Paul, is these are all the different advertisers that are listed on Meta that could be running an advert. But another smarter way of running it is to just go straight and check what is Colgate advertising, right? If Colgate is my competitor, what is Listerine advertising? If Listerine is my competitor, once I've found the Listerine page, then I will say, all right, cool. This is that's the page. Are they running any adverts? Yes, they are. Let's see what adverts they're running in Australia. All right, this is how Listerine is positioning itself in Australia, right? Similar to how I showed you earlier, this would be your description that you want your customer to read in detail. The one that you see here at the bottom, that's your headline, right? Freshen up your freshen up your Mo this Movember with Listerine, right? That's the headline. And then the button is Shop Now. When I click on Shop Now, it will take me to the Listerine website, and so that I can action whatever it is that I need to action. Can you see how it works? So basically, that's how you can use Facebook ads library to firstly see if your ads are indeed live. But most importantly, you can use it for your strategies. You can check what your competitors are doing, right? Whether they are competitors at the very same level as your business, or it's like bigger businesses. We always use bigger businesses just so we get a view of what they are doing, what they're spending resources on. And instead of us trying to spend a lot of time and trying to figure out how to do this, we can just replicate what they're doing, but obviously tweak one or two strategies and the wording so that it suits our business. All right. And ultimately, once all of that is running, you have engaged with your persona, your different parents or your different users on Meta. There are other more advanced features that you can also employ. Remember my Apollo example. I'm cognizant of time as well, and we're going to take a break in a minute. Remember my Apollo example. Now imagine I want to sell my courses to the CEOs. The first touch point of engaging with these CEOs is they will get an email from me, right? Saying, hello, this is who I am, this is what we do, this is how we'd like to help you. And then these CEOs are also human beings. They spend time on social media by using what we call matched list, right? Matched list is basically taking that data and loading it onto an advertising platform. But it needs to be verified first, right? So that the person who received the email saying, hi, I'd like to help you, when they are on social media, they can also see our adverts, right? Because we are using legal means of tracking our potential user across all the different touch points that they are active on when it comes to digital marketing. Digital marketing is all about engaging with your users on all the different platforms in its respective way. So Apollo is the first way, which would be the email marketing. That's what everyone else would call it. Meta would be one piece of social media advertising. And then after the short break, we will go into LinkedIn, where I show you how to advertise to B2B people, right? Facebook is relevant for B2B and B2C, businesses that play in that space. But it's important that you understand Facebook's targeting when it comes to their persona. Their persona setup is based on demographics. That's to say their profession, where they live, how old they are. Behavior, that's to say how are they behaving when they are on Meta. Have they recently purchased anything in the last 90 days? Yes, I definitely want to showcase my ad to those people. Then I will select that option and my advert will be shown to those guys. And then most importantly, the ad is shown based on interest as well. If I am Tato and I like Listerine and I follow Listerine and Colgate, no, I'm just talking, I'm not presenting it, then my advert will be shown to those people as well. All right. So after the short break, I'll show you how we replicate the system using LinkedIn, and how we replicate it using Google Ads, and how we tie it all together. Okay.
Tato,
Yes, sir.
can you touch on creating A/B test for ads? Someone was asking about A/B testing for ads.
Short. All right. So how the A/B testing would work, right? Is this technically is A/B testing, but quite informally, because we just duplicated existing ads. But let me answer the question and create the A/B test as per the request. You will go to ad sets, right? And in ads, this is one way that you can do it. In ad sets, no, not ad sets, in campaign. In campaign, you will choose the A/B test option, right? And essentially, how the campaign runs is there's one campaign that shows everything that I've shown you now. And then the other campaign will be slightly similar, but the wording, the imagery, the messaging will be different. A/B test is created. You see, it says choose the copy, right? I'll just make a copy from the original one and then click next. A/B test is created in a way to help us to test our different elements on our campaign. Are we trying to test if our creative is effective? Are we trying to test our audience, right? Which audience? So audience 1 are parents that are 7 to 9. Audience 2 are parents that are 10 to 13, right? We choose what we are actually looking to test. And then once we've done that,
Additionally, can you also touch on if A/B testing, specifically if the ads are different?
Expand further, please.
They're asking about A/B testing if we're running different ads.
Okay, all right. In terms of the creative, am I understanding that? So the ads is the creative. Am I answering the? Am I understanding the question, Manyano?
I'm not sure. Can Khomoto says no. Can Khomoto, can you turn on your mic and?
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Hi, Khomoto.
Thank you so much, Tato. Wonderful presentation. So my question was specifically when you were showing Paul how to run ads on different platforms, or run different ads, right? I assumed that they were different posters, let's assume, or it was a poster, a video, a carousel on the other ads, correct? Yes. So my question was, how would Paul run an A/B test if the ads are different? If one is a carousel, one is a poster, one is a video. How would A/B testing work in that way?
I'm with you. And thank you for clarifying. Thanks, Manyan, as well. So in the instance where the creatives are different in their very nature, right? As Khomoto has mentioned, there's a video, there are still images, and there's perhaps a carousel here and there. It depends on the strategy first and foremost, and it depends what metric we're trying to track. In this example that you are looking at here, because this is testing. We were testing, how many ads are these, Manyano? 5. We were testing 5 ads. Immediately from looking at all these 5 ads, when we look at our metrics, right? And that leads me to the next topic here now. When we are looking at our metrics, Khomoto, we would want to see, okay, cool. In a given time, I'll say August to October, right? In a given time, how did our ads, not ad sets, how did our different ads perform, right? Between the 1st of October and the 31st of the 1st of August and the 31st of October, these adverts that we created, just pay attention to to this thread because they are all about the school. They ran whichever way that they ran, and based on messaging, the one ad generated 11 messages, the other ad generated 10, the other ad generated 27 messages, right? If we are like Paul and we want to see which ad has the highest engagement based on conversations, right? Then through our testing of running 3 ads based on the metric, which is messaging, then we would say this ad has generated the highest number of messages, right? But let me expand further. If the metric is which audience, which audience is the most profitable, where are we getting the biggest engagement from the different audiences, then we would select audiences based on age, when we do our reporting, to figure out what age group is actually the most performing. And how we do that is we would basically click on columns, and you see I've already listed them initially. We always look based on performance, and when we're looking based on performance, we are looking at all of these different metrics that we'd like to track, right? But for Paul's example specifically, what he would do is he would create his ads. If he wants to test creative, then it's important that you are testing apples for apples. If that's what you want to do, if you have two different videos, then you can create an A/B test based on which video will get the biggest engagement. If similar to us, you have different creative assets, you have a video, you have stills, you have carousel, but you're not really looking at creative, you are looking at messaging conversations or link clicks, then you would run A/B test experiments based on those metrics. It really depends on the types of metrics that you are basically trying to achieve, right? If we are looking for more people to engage with our platform, then this ad with the purple background probably has reached more people. It has the highest number of conversations compared to the other three. Like number 2 has 3,000. It reached only 3,000 people. Number 1 only reached 2,000 people. But in terms of the frequency and the CTR, I would argue that ad number 1 has a higher CTR ratio, right? Click-through ratio. That means of the people that are seeing your advert, what in terms of percentage, how many of them are actually clicking to go to the next stage of your sales journey, right? So although the purple ad had the highest number of conversations and the highest number of reach, the click-through rate is lower than the ad that had the lowest number of reach, right? This one is 1.3%. So 1.3% of people that see this ad clicked on the ad, compared to 1.07 people that saw this particular ad. So for me, as the person that's tracking whatever metric I'm looking to track, I would say in terms of performance, if I'm looking for conversations, this is probably the best result that I'm looking for, right? But these are just guidances on what to test. You can test based on creative, you can test based on audience, you can test based on call to action. Which call to action has the highest number of activities? Is it us sending people to the website, or is it us sending people to our WhatsApp page? Those are all different elements that you can create your test experiment. Did that answer your question, Khumotso?
Yes, thank you so much, Thato. It did.
All right, great stuff. I am going to pause the video here. That session went for 1 hour 17 minutes, and I am going to open up the chat for questions. Paul, I see you have a question. Paul, do you have a question?
No, I'm good. I think it's an old hand.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. Are there any other questions, guys, before we take a break? All right. It was a long session. So let's take a 10-minute break to 12:40. And we'll go into the next session. But during the break, please, think you might just get 1 or 2 ideas or 1 or 2 questions that you didn't think about initially. So by all means, throw that question in the chat or just unmute yourself and ask the question, okay? I hope the meta ads was clear in terms of how you run it. But I want to guarantee you that the guides that we're going to share with you after the workshops will give you a step-by-step guide in how to create, firstly, your Meta business page, all the way to your Meta ads account, all the way to actually setting up your audiences and creating your ads. All right, we do this 24/7, so we had already created some ads and we hit the ground running. But you will get the specific guidance over and beyond the workshop. Okay, awesome. Please go grab yourself a coffee, water, food, and let's connect at 12:40. I will stop the recording.